This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 111 of the Dressage Radio Show, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products and Equestrian Collections. Hello, Chris Stafford back with you for another fun episode here this summer of the Dressage Radio Show. We're going to be taking another dream vacation with my guest this week, Debbie McDonald. And also we have a wow moment for you a little bit later on in the show. So it's all about having some fun here this summer on the Dressage Radio Show, and I hope you've enjoyed the series. So far, we also are covering it on the Eventing Radio Show and the Jumping Radio Show. There are guests there that are also taking dream vacations, so be sure to check out those as well. But right here on the Dressage Radio Show, we're going to hear from our good friend here, Debbie McDonald. So I'm sure you'll want to know what she would do on a dream vacation and who she will take with her. But before we get to that, I want to remind you about one of our loyal sponsors here on the show that make this Dressage Radio Show possible each and every week, and that is Kentucky Performance Products, because it's that time of the year when your horse will be sweating more and needs some help in replenishing fluids. KPP offers a solution with Summer Games Electrolyte. It's originally created for horses competing at the Olympic Games, and the formulation is a combination of minerals similar to the levels typically lost in sweat. Summer Games is a concentrated electrolyte that contains minimal sugar and supports normal hydration. Plus, it's palatable and it's easy to feed. So help your horse beat the heat with Summer Games Electrolyte. To find out more about this and all of the KPP products, please visit them at kppusa.com or call 1-800-772-1988. And you can learn more about horse nutrition and interact with the KPP experts by joining their Facebook fan page. Just search for KPP, Kentucky Performance Products. They are also a participating retailer here of the Horse World Gives Back campaign. Well, as I said, our guest this week is Debbie McDonald, well known to all of you, of course. She's been a regular here on the show and a very popular guest, as always. And this week, I'm going to be sending her on a dream vacation. She gets to choose 4 horses, and she gets to choose 3 people that she's going to send, as well as music and book choices. So we're going to hear all about that, why Debbie, where she would want to go, what would be a dream vacation for her, and who she'll take with her. So let's hear from Debbie about her dream vacation. Well, Debbie, thank you for joining us on this dream vacation this week. And I know a vacation would be pretty important to you anyway, wouldn't it? You'd like to get away.
Oh, I need to get away. So I can't wait to find out where you're going to send me.
Well, the deal is that you can get to take 4 horses, as you know. You choose 4 horses and 3 people. And also then you get to choose a CD and a book, or you can have 2 CDs and 1 book, or 1 book and 2 CDs, as long as you take something with you to amuse yourself as well on this vacation, because I think, knowing you, I think it's the kind of vacation that you will enjoy. So let's start by hearing what your horse choices would be.
Okay, well, it is tough to decide because, like with people, you know, if you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, you just want to make sure they're the ones you want to spend time with. So I decided that because I like to have a little fun, I would definitely take, well, first of all, Mama's got to come. That's a given. So Mama's coming. And then I'm going to take the 2 crackpots in the barn, which are Wizard and Felix, because they're the party boys. And they will make me laugh. And actually, Wizard will protect me if I get, in a situation where I need protection. And then Beau Rivage will actually come along as well, because if Felix and Wizard start to get a little bit out of hand at the bars and try to get in bar fights and stuff, then Beau Rivage will step in and say, okay, guys, you need to calm it down. I think you've had enough to drink or whatever. he's the one that can be the peacemaker in the group. So those are my 4 horses that I'm going to take.
All right. Well, let's talk about those 4 horses. First of all, Mama, we all know, is Brentina. Now, how would you describe her personality? What kind of horse would she be on vacation? Would she unwind and just kick back and relax with you, or would she need kind of regular attention? Describe her personality for everybody here, so they get a sense of what she would be like out there on vacation with you.
Actually, I think Mama would be a lot like me. I think she'd be very content to sit back in a lounge chair and, have a little bit of pampering. And she doesn't really need anybody. She's very self-sufficient. So I think she would probably sit back there and read a few books and listen to some music and hang out by the pool or wherever I end up going. But that's the type of person she'd be.
So you wouldn't have to ride her then? I mean, I'm just thinking about, how you're going to keep her amused. Is she going to be completely let down, roughed off, so you don't have to ride her during this vacation?
Yeah,
absolutely. There's some nice, I should tell you, because you'll get to know later on where you're going, of course, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, this would be a nice place to be ridden.
I'm sure she would like a little bit, but I can guarantee you if it ended up being a place that was just more of a place where it was just going to be like pastures and green grass or whatever, she'd do that too. So she's pretty agreeable. No, she wouldn't have to be ridden.
She wouldn't have to be ridden. Okay, well, She's not doing much these days, obviously. Just remind us all how old she is and what she's doing each day. She just turned out enjoying the paddock life?
Yeah, she is in pasture, but she still has her stall, so she lives in at night, so I don't worry about her. And then she does a little bit of hacking still and goes out on the trails, but that pretty much is her life. She's a nice, lovely, retired, she looks fabulous, happy horse.
How old is she now?
20.
Wow. So she'd be very easy to take along on this vacation with you. Now, you mentioned the boys, Wizard and Felix. Tell us a little bit about these two. They're young debonair lads, aren't they? And would they have to be kept in work a little bit just to keep them on their toes?
Well, they definitely would be going to the gym or being worked, yeah. There's no doubt. They need a little bit of, they definitely need to have that little bit of discipline put into their everyday life, because they do take life sometimes a little too, like it's too much fun. They're always trying to play games on us around here. Felix is the type that would let everybody out of the stall, and Wizard is the kind that would, loves to push everybody around. So, but they both have, they're just fun. I think they'd be fun people, and because they're fun horses. So I think that's exactly who they are.
Well, because we're wondering about who's going to ride these. Of the 3 people that you're taking as well, I'm wondering when we get to that, when we get to talk about the people, these people could get to ride these horses, or is that not in the equation here? Because, some of our guests are taking people that they would put on particular horses that they know that they would enjoy riding. Is that going to happen on your vacation?
No, not on my vacation. We're all going to have fun, I hope.
Okay. Okay. Now, these 2 boys, Wizard and Felix, how old are they now? And they're in work as we speak, presumably?
Wizard is 12 and doing quite well. And Felix is, I believe, 14. And he's one of those that just can't seem to keep himself out of trouble and always seems to have an injury of some sort that he's recovering from. So he actually is out in the pasture right now. We figured we'd let him go out for the summer and see if we can let Mother Nature and time help him a little bit. Because I think the stall, he seems to do more damage in a stall than he does by helping himself.
So a vacation would be a good thing for him right now anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, we've got 3 of your horses now. Tell everybody about Beau Rivage and your partnership with Beau Rivage and why you've chosen this horse to go on vacation with you.
Well, Beau Rivage was probably he's a mama in the sense that he has the same type of heart, same soul. Never would do anything to upset anyone, and always just wanted to try and please. He just wasn't the world's greatest mover, but he definitely was huge in heart and spirit. And I had him since he was 4, I believe, when we bought him in Fairden. And he had lots of problems with colic. He ended up having like 3 colic surgeries and some hernias. And, he lived to be like 24, but colic did end up taking him. So, but he was definitely one of those that you could take him anywhere, do anything you want with him, and he just do his best, And so I've been blessed with a couple of horses like that in my life. He just wasn't as brilliant as Brentina, but he certainly had all the other characters of her.
Well, obviously, you had some great partnerships there, some good horses we're talking about here. Debbie, tell us why those horses really suited you as well as they did and, will always be in your mind and your heart the horses of a lifetime that you would forever want to resurrect and take on vacation with you.
Well, I think, you'd like to think a little bit of your partnership goes into what you end up getting, as far as your everyday training and attitude towards training and everything ends up helping mold what you end up with in the end. And I'm not one that likes to hurry things along. And I think that through that, they learn to trust you a lot. And I think that's why I've had so many great horses over the years. It's just the fact that they do seem to trust and believe in wherever I take them, and hopefully, and they've been able to stay with me for longer periods of time, which is always great to know that you're not going to have a horse sold out from underneath you or whatever. I think you then bond much more deeply with those than ones that you ride that could possibly be sold. I think it's harder inside to give everything and all of you to a horse that that could be yanked out from underneath you at any time.
Well, certainly have been terrific partnerships, as you said, and now what great company for your vacation. So you've got 3 boys and mama you're taking. Now that's the horses, but who are the people that you've chosen that you really need with you on vacation, and why?
Okay, so when I go on vacation, Chris, I have to tell you, I go because I need to be relaxed. I want to have a good time. I enjoy the spa, and I like to look at nice-looking guys. So, you want to know my people?
I would love to know your people. Now, I hope you've shared this with your husband. Does he know?
Oh, gosh, no. And he never listens to the show, so...
Okay. All
so
right.
he doesn't need to know that.
Okay.
And that's for everybody out there to know, too. He doesn't need to know this.
Okay. Good to know. All right, we won't tell anybody. Nobody's listening. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to take a masseuse so I can have my spa days.
Okay.
And a masseuse that can do horses, too, because my horses need that, too.
Sure.
I mean, I'm taking them on vacation so they can have that kind of, fun, luxury and massages, all that. I mean, I can't even think of anything better. And then I got to have a bartender because, if I'm laying around that pool and want a pina colada or whatever, and I got to have a good one. So, and it'll probably be a guy too. And then somebody to serve me these, I've got to have a good looking cabana boy. So those are my 3 people that I'm taking on this vacation.
Well, maybe it's just as well if your husband doesn't hear this, because you're taking 3. You already said you like to look at young men, and so you're going to take a male bartender, but you also need the cabana boy. You can't just have the bartender delivering and serving you your drinks, your pina coladas. You've got to have a cabana boy as well.
Well, of course. I mean, it'd get boring if I just took one. So I think it'd be kind of fun to have two.
Well, what now? So presumably you're going to spend a lot of time when you're not playing with the horses. You're going to be kicking back on a beach chair lounger, and you're going to be drinking pina coladas. Is that your ideal vacation, Deb?
Yeah, it really is. That's pretty sad, but yeah, it is. I really love to just go and do nothing. I'm not a sightseer or anything like that because my life is just so hectic that when I go somewhere, I want to do nothing.
Nothing at all. So the beach is your type of vacation. We'll have to see if we can find a beach for you. But then, kicking back and drinking, would you just lounge around all day, or what would you do? No. I actually, I would like to, either swim or go to the, work out a little bit. I mean, I definitely get too antsy if I don't do anything. Take some walks around any place that would be where we'd go, and I love to hike, so that would be something I'd love to do. And for that matter, I can have the cabana boy or somebody lead one of the horses. We can take them out there and walk around. Well, you have three men there, but three young men, I should say, and no doubt good-looking young men that will keep you company and serve you and massage you and the horses. And
I could have a girl massage because as much as I like to flirt, I'm not so sure I want a guy masseuse. So okay. I might take a girl, and it could even be I have a couple of friends that might even want to come along if they knew they could have a little vacation with me. So, but so the masseuse could be a girl.
Okay, all right. Well, it sounds like you've really got it mapped out here, Deb. This sounds like a perfect vacation so far. So, now, as you said, you're going to do a little bit of swimming, and you might go to the gym and walk a little bit, just so to keep
hiking or whatever. Yeah.
And how about nightlife? Do you like the nightlife?
Not particularly. I mean, I love to watch the sunsets, and then I love to people watch. So if it goes, if there's places that we go and, there's a little bit of a nightlife there, I enjoy watching that for a while. But, once it gets past 9 o'clock, it's my bedtime. So I'm not much of a partier.
Now, you are known for enjoying dancing. You like your music.
I do. I really do. So, I mean, if you're on vacation and you don't have to get up early, then the nightlife's a little easier to do. But definitely when it comes to my everyday life, there is not much of a nightlife.
Okay, well, it brings me to your choice of music. You can take, as I said, either one CD and two books or two books and one CD. And you'll need, obviously, some company, something to read, something to listen to if you're going to be kicking back for this vacation. So what is your choice of music?
Well, I'm a country western kind of fan. Mm-hmm. So, but because if you only took two, that'd be so boring. So anymore, I think I would take Pandora, and then I could listen to anything I want.
You could. That's a good choice. Now, presumably, you're going to load that. You have it on your iPhone, or your iPod.
Yep. Okay. Yep. I have it on it, so I would definitely take that for sure. Because I like to mix up my music,
Yeah. So what's going to be your choices apart from country and western?
A little reggae, Jimmy Buffett, a little pop.
Okay.
That kind of, especially when I'm working out, I like to listen to the pop stuff.
Okay.
Popping, sometimes, a little bit of rock. Yeah, I'm kind of into a lot of everything. Classical a little bit, but that would be more it'd have to be a really quiet time of my day. So that would be more in the evening, I think, the classical.
You mentioned Jimmy Buffett there because you clearly would be in your own Margaritaville, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, so we'll let you take your iPod and so you can play Pandora. Now, what would be your book choices?
Well, again, you make us make choices. difficult. Because certainly you're going to read more than one book on a vacation if you go on a vacation like I want to go on. So I'm thinking, we're in the times that we don't have to make those kind of choices. So I'm thinking my Kindle.
Okay. So you'd have to load your Kindle up before you leave home. What would you load?
Definitely.
What would you load it up with then, Deb?
Well, I love mysteries. I love mystery, something that's really suspenseful. A little bit of romance in it is always fun. But it has to catch me. Whatever I start to read, it has to catch me within the first couple chapters, or I usually just put it down and never pick it up again. So it usually has to be something, and I love the mysteries. It just keeps, I love the little murder mysteries and how they solve them and all that kind of stuff, and then a little romance in between it.
Any favorite authors?
I'm sorry?
Any favorite authors?
Not really. I mean, there's been I've read a few of Tammy Hoag's, and I love some of Tammy Hoag's stuff too. But that kind of author, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So a little bit of romance as well. Now, have you read the Stieg Larsson trilogy set in Sweden?
No.
Well, I would recommend you load those up if you want some suspense. They are certainly suspenseful. I recommend those. And there's a trilogy, so that would be plenty of reading. So you might want to download those. You know, the girl with the dragon tattoo and the girl who played with fire.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm going to do that for sure.
I recommend those.
Perfect.
If you want some drama and suspense, they'll offer that to you. So you're going to take your Kindle and so several book choices. Would you put anything else on your Kindle, a magazine or two, a newspaper, or would you forget about what else is happening in the world while you're on vacation?
I think I would leave that off during vacation. I think we hear enough of awful things going on around the world. I think I'd rather just live in my own la-la land for a few days.
Would you take a camera?
Oh, gosh, yes. But I definitely wouldn't take pictures of any of the guys.
Oh, you...
Because then my husband might see them.
Well, I was just thinking of Bog McDonald. If he does tune in here, and hear what's going on, he might... No,
actually, he would laugh. I think he'd laugh his head off because he knows that half of what I'm saying is a joke.
Well, I don't know. I think this would be a dream come true if you did have your boys there, and your cabana boys, your bartender, and you'd be pretty set, wouldn't you? All right. Well, I'm going to let you know where you're actually going to go, Deb, and I think this would suit you since you said you like the beach, you like to kick back and enjoy a bit of swimming as well. You are going for 2 weeks to Costa Rica's beach.
Oh, my gosh, I love it. I'm going to Costa Rica, the beach. I have to tell everybody around me.
Now, have you been before? Is this somewhere that's familiar to you?
No, I have not been. That's the place I always wanted to go.
Well, this is perfect because, got miles and miles of wide and unoccupied sandy beaches, so you can open up, you can have a jog along there, or you could ride your horses and... kick back, and of course the place is full of beautiful tropical forest and teak forest, and so you'll be able to enjoy the wildlife, the raucous macaws and the chattering howler monkeys. So you definitely would need your camera, and there's an opportunity to do some canopy tours through the treetops. You could play golf, you could also go bike riding as well, and obviously the swimming. And you'd be able to go out looking at the sea turtles as they come up to the beach to lay their eggs. I think there'd be lots of fun things to... Oh,
I'd love it.
Don't you think?
I can't wait. Oh, yes, I'd love it. I can't wait. So when are you sending me?
Well, you get to go in 2 weeks. We'll just have to figure out when you're available because, I know, as you said, you have such a busy, hectic lifestyle. It's just a matter of finding 2 weeks that you could fit this in. Right. Well, I'll start working on that. Well, we work on your schedule, but we want to know before you go about the kind of souvenirs you might bring back, apart from the boys, but we won't mention those. I mean, I'm thinking souvenirs that you would you normally bring back souvenirs from your vacation? I usually bring back fun T-shirts and things like that to everybody at the barn and stuff, just so they kind of, funny kind of T-shirts that say, I don't even know about what those would be, but
But yeah, little souvenirs from the culture. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't know quite what those would be, but that's exactly what I would do.
All right. Well, Costa Rica for 2 weeks it is, and I think the seawater is going to be good for those boys. You know, Wizard and Felix are going to be good for their legs, and Mama will enjoy it.
Oh, she'll love that.
Now, have you ever ridden her in the sea?
Nope. No place to ride her here in the sea.
So that's going to be an adventure for all of you then.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Deb. Well, I'm glad that you're going somewhere that you really would love to go. This truly would be your dream vacation.
Well, yes, Chris. Thank you for sending me there. I've always wanted to go.
Well, thank you so much for taking part in our dream vacation, and I hope you have the vacation that you really do need this summer, Debbie.
Well, thank you, Chris. It's always such a fun pleasure to be on the show.
And I will be inviting some more guests here on the show to hear about their dream vacation during the summer months too. Well, as you know, these shows would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors here, and one of those, of course, is Equestrian Collections. And if you haven't checked them out online yet at equestriancollections.com, maybe you haven't heard that you can earn points for you and the riding organisation of your choice. This is Equestrian Collections' way of rewarding its valued customers and supporting the equestrian community. For every dollar you spend at equestriancollections.com, you will earn 1 point, and each time you accumulate 500 points, you'll receive a $25 reward certificate that is redeemable at equestriancollections.com. And you can also collect rewards for your horse to celebrate his special birthday with a $10 reward certificate emailed to you during the month of his birthday. That's redeemable, of course, at equestriancollections.com. And you can find out about all your favorite dressage brands while you're there, like Rumpf International, Kerritts, Fitz, and Good Rider, just to name a few of the many brands that Equestrian Collections carries there on its website. And it has just about everything, dressage for both you and your horse. So be sure to check them out at equestriancollections.com. And they, of course, have been a participating retailer of the Horse World Gives Back campaign, and we appreciate that, of course. And don't forget, you can check out that campaign. HorseWorldGivesBack.com is the place to go to support those in need around the country who have suffered from the terrible, devastating weather and fire and floods and tornadoes, of course, over the past month. So that campaign will be ongoing for us here on the Horse Radio Network, where we can give back to the horse world. So take a look at that website, HorseWorldGivesBack.com. Well, we're coming now to one of my favourite segments here on the shows. I have this on all of my shows, dressage, jumping and eventing, and we're calling it Words of Wisdom. There is only one style of dressage riding of any importance, and that is the classical style, or what has come to be known over the last 400 years as the classical style. The main requirements of this style are those of balance and harmony. The rider must be able to ride on and in harmony with his horse by balance alone, so that there will never be any form of grip or muscular contraction, except for the specific purpose of communicating a precise and limited message. His balance must be such that he can follow all the movements his horse may make, whether anticipated or not, without losing that balance, and without resort to gripping with legs or hands, since that would jeopardize his ability to communicate sensitively and put him out of harmony. To achieve this degree of balance, the rider must sit with all the parts of his body, the bones of his pelvis, spine, shoulders and head, poised and balanced one above the other in a vertical plane, each part balanced on and supported by the one below, so that no muscular tension is required to hold them together and prevent them from falling apart. To achieve this, he will dispose his body in exactly the same position as a well-behaved person would adopt at a formal dinner party, at which there are no backs to the chairs. And the key to that balanced posture lies in the positioning of the pelvis, which forms the base of the whole structure. It is necessary to rock or tilt the top of the pelvis somewhat forward off the position it intends to adopt of its own accord, or when a person is sitting in a slovenly manner. The forward tilt of the upper part only of the pelvis places it under the rib cage and directly over the seat bones, which will then, as indeed they must, carry the whole weight of the torso. It is a position in which the rider is alert and ready for anything. This extract is taken from Dressage, an introduction by Anthony Crossley, published by Pelham Books as part of their Pelham Horsemaster series in 1984. Well, that about wraps it up for this week's Dressage Radio Show. Before I go, I want to remind you that we are looking for young reporters. If you're under 20 years of age and you'd like to report on your show, wherever you are in the world, we would love to hear from you. Send that email to me, chris@horseradionetwork.com. Our show notes, as always, are on our website at dressageradio.com, where you can find links to all the offers that we have going on here on the Horse Radio Network. And don't forget to check out all the other shows here on the network, too. We have 8 altogether and more to come, so you need to stay tuned this summer. Lots happening here on the Horse Radio Network. I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget you can post your comments about us. Anything you'd like to say about the show, put that up on Facebook, on our fan page there. Just look for Dressage Radio Show. And if you're a tweeter, don't forget you can join us there on Twitter. Our names are Chris E. Stafford and Horse Radio. All right, well, that is it for this week. I will be back, of course, the same time next week for more fun here on the Dressage Radio Show. So until then, thank you all for listening.